Welcome to FBB Forum. My name is David, and this podcast is dedicated to all the amazing female bodybuilders. If you like this content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro Women's Physique competitor, Katie, say it one more time.
It's Gilot.
Guillot, that's right. Yeah, with gill like a fish and yacht.
Yacht like a boat.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry. To the podcast. Katie just recently earned her pro card at the NPC USAs and has been competing in bodybuilding since 2020. She also works as an insurance adjuster and also helps backstage as an expediter at NPC and IFBB events. Katie has a really great look and has a very bright future in the sport. Welcome, Katie. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. And I you had been following me anyway, and I've been following you for a little while. But I saw you had an interview with George Page recently, and he had encouraged me to reach out to you for an interview as well.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did. I've been following you for a hot second now.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You like the content I've been doing?
I do very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Now, I was curious in terms of getting started in bodybuilding. Did you have an athletic or a sports background before you started?
So before I started bodybuilding, I was actually a 7-year CrossFitter.
Really?
Um, I just, I wanted to see an extreme, like I don't have like a really good oh, this is the why that I like a why that to why I started. I just, I was kind of tired of, looking around the room and seeing that nobody around me had changed in the last 7 years.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to look good. And so who looks better than bodybuilders?
That's awesome. Did you do CrossFit competitions?
I did.
Oh wow, that's
I
so
was
cool.
I was a I was an okay-ish CrossFitter. Like, I mean, I had like a full skill set. I could do all the movements, the muscle ups, the handstand walks, and I was decent enough, but I wasn't like games caliber.
Oh really? Yeah. Was the I was wondering about CrossFit. Seems like some of the motions are they're just so rapid that you might be more prone to injury. Did you have much
Yeah,
injury?
I mean, I was never injured. I think I move really well, but but I mean, I definitely knew people that didn't, and it's not the most efficient use of your time, I guess.
Yeah, I understand. No, that's cool. I would just be worried about getting injured because especially like some of the where they lift the barbells in rapid succession, it just seems like you could pull
Right.
something doing that.
Especially since, a lot of those Olympic lifts are very, very technical. Doing them quickly, it just isn't optimal.
Yeah, seems like you could throw stuff out of socket and stuff like your shoulder and stuff like that. Yeah. Um, well, how did you get started in bodybuilding and who convinced you to do your first contest?
Nobody really like convinced me. It was something that I had wanted to do for a long time. And one of the people that I CrossFitted with who did look really good, and like I said, I just said that I looked around the room, there was nobody that I really wanted to look like except for this one girl who was a figure competitor at one point in time. And so I got with her and initially got with her coach, and he was my first coach. So that's how I got into bodybuilding. I kind of planned on going one and done. I was like, I just want to try it once, and did the one and wasn't done.
Did you get kind of hooked on it?
I definitely did, and it's crazy because like it's not the kind of thing that I would really get hooked on. Like I've got stage fright to this day, like,
Really?
but there was just something about it, something about the community, something about just pushing yourself to a point and then just getting on stage and all these people, and just I had a great time. I met so many just really amazing people that I'm still friends with to this day.
That's terrific. I've heard that from many ladies that I've interviewed that they get it's going to be one and done and then they get hooked on it because it's such a it not just the being on stage but the backstage kind of camaraderie and kind of iron
Right.
sisterhood, is really strong. So I'm glad that you experienced that.
And it's also like I had never seen abs before, so that was the coolest thing in my life, to see it on myself.
Oh yeah, no, the abs are really impressive, aren't they? Yeah. And to see it on yourself is kind of cool too. I've heard that from other ladies too.
Yeah.
Is the now in terms of I was curious, do you know many CrossFitters who ended up going on to bodybuilding? Because I know of a handful, but not too many.
Yeah, I personally, I mean, like within my the people that I know, I don't, but I mean, I've seen a ton on Instagram. Um, and it seems like a lot of the CrossFitters go into women's physique.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, I noticed that too. Now, when you started off, you said you did figure first?
I did do figure first.
Oh, you
And
did? Yeah.
I actually really wanted to be a bikini competitor, but my first coach said it would have been a waste of shoulders.
Oh, really? Oh, you were too big? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Um, when did you switch to women's physique?
I switched to women's physique in 2022.
Were you glad to ditch the heels and get to do your routine and that kind of thing?
Um, Initially, no, I wasn't. I always felt like I wouldn't be like as pretty, but women's physique is 100% where I belong.
That's great. No, I agree with you on that. I think it was a good move for you. I like physique because it allows you more creativity on stage.
Mhm.
It's not so rigid like the figure division.
And like I said, I love extremes, and I just the conditioning that some of these ladies bring is wild. Like I
No.
love conditioning.
Oh, that's great. No, I agree with you on that. The conditioning is really amazing. And although some of the figure ladies are really getting conditioned too,
That's true.
that's pretty impressive too.
Yeah, figure has really stepped up the conditioning game.
They have. Oh, I know. Now I was curious, do you have like a fitness role model that you look up to or looked up to when you first started?
I mean, I think that much like many or many girls in the industry, especially like within physique, we started with Dana and Bailey. I used to love Dana and Bailey. I had Dana and Bailey like not posters, but I mean like I guess like magazine covers and stuff, just like plastered on my wall. And I used to have her Olympia prep journal, and I would do workouts from that. Like
Really?
I love some Dana and Bailey.
Oh yeah, she's mentioned a lot on this podcast. She's really amazing and still pretty active online too and on
Oh
social
yeah.
media. That'd be great to see her come back again, like big come.
I would love to see her come back, and I'd be curious to just see where she fits now, just because the category has changed so much since she was winning.
Yeah, you're right. It has. It's changed a lot actually. And yeah, you're right. I would be curious to see where she places in modern day, women's physique. It's cool that she was first women's physique um
Olympian.
Olympia. Yeah, which is
Mhm.
amazing. Yeah. Now you alluded to this before, but do you find it tough to get up on stage in bikini? Is it kind of nerve-wracking for you?
Yes, I, my thing is like the stage isn't the part that I love. Like I love the diet, I love the training, I love the intensity. Like I love doing things that other people can't do, and the stage is just something that like is the motivator. Like you have to have the end goal. I can't just do it without having something to look forward to. But it's not my favorite part of the whole journey.
Sure.
So yeah, I think getting up in a bikini isn't necessarily my favorite part. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Sure, I understand that. Yeah, and I was thinking, um, that moment on stage is so brief compared to like all the prep that you do and
It
all
is.
the work you do.
It's wild that, you can spend 20, 30 weeks dieting for sometimes to not even have all the poses called out.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I know sometimes they don't give you enough time to do all the poses or or you don't get to do your posing routine too. I would think that would be a little nerve-wracking, just spending all that time and then you don't get to do the routine and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, now is and congratulations on earning your pro card at the USAs just
You.
last month. And I was curious, what was your experience like at that show? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed USA's a lot. I had never been to California. I had never done a muscle contest production, so just a lot of firsts. A great. It was a well run show, and as an expediter, I always appreciate that.
That's nice. Yeah. Did they try to recruit you as an expediter? It's like
I
put you
wish I would love to go out there.
oh mate, but I mean like during this show, it's like, well, we're one expediter. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, maybe not for this one. I had other plans.
No, I'm just teasing you. Where in California was it? Because I thought USA's were
They moved
usually
it to
in Vegas.
yeah, it's usually in Vegas, but they moved it to Anaheim this year.
Oh, they did. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, wow. I wonder if they got a better turnout than usual because it's
I
such.
don't think they did.
Oh
just
no.
because just because they weren't charging late fees for her registrations, so that's usually like a we we don't have enough people kind of thing.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe that's because they switched the location. It'll take a little while to build up the
And
audience.
I almost everyone that I've spoken to about USA's has had no idea that they moved it to Anaheim.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh, I
I've
didn't.
I've spoken to maybe one person who knew that they moved it.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I mean, I didn't know either. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I just maybe they need to advertise that a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I know that the Titan show is coming up there too in September, and that's going to be a big show, I think.
Is it?
Hmm. Yeah, it's going to be the first time. I don't know if it's the first time ever for the show, but it's first time women's bodybuilding will be
I
there.
saw that. I saw that. And I think Wings of Strength is sponsoring that one.
It is, yeah, they are. So that'll draw a lot of competitors, I think. So that'll
Oh
be a
yeah.
good one. Yeah. What was your backstage experience like at the USA's? Was it maybe not so crowded if they didn't have the best
It
turnout?
I mean, it wasn't really crowded just because they only allowed like one class at a time backstage. It was a very small backstage, which I prefer an intimate backstage because it's just unnecessary to have all that space, you know.
Yeah.
It's such a quick little turnaround, and I think maybe it's the expediter in me that like when you have to go searching for people that you don't want to go find them in a mile long space. You want to find them in a 10-foot wide space.
Yeah, that's true. I bet. Yeah, that makes life easier on the expediter for sure, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That Tupelo show that I worked last weekend, I walked 9 miles on Saturday.
Really?
I did. My
Oh, is
watch
that
captured 9 miles of walking to find people.
I saw that it was in an arena. So is that just a really big space, huh?
Timmy and Judy have a lot of backstage space for competitors because competitors like space, but
Yeah.
expeditors do not like space.
Yeah, yeah, no, I understand. Oh man. Oh wow. Yeah, I bet that would be tough though to track them down sometimes. You gotta
And they wear their headphones and largely ignore you.
y'all need to put like one of those what do they call those Apple things that you stick on a car or whatever and you can
Yeah, like an air tag.
air tag, that's right. You gotta stick an air tag on the competitors. And
Right. That
you
that that would make my life so much easier. Like some sort of like button that could like buzz them, like they get a shock when it's their turn to be on stage.
that's not a bad idea. I like that. That could be an invention here on Shark Tank, maybe.
Uh, if anything that could bring me more bodybuilding money.
That yeah, it could work. Oh man. Um, so how long was your prep for the USAs?
For USAs, we usually do 16 weeks, but I feel like really like brought in like 100% compliance, close to 22-ish, because I kind of wanted to go to Universe.
Yeah.
But my coach was like, no, let's go to USA's, just because I had just come off um the NPC national stage in December.
Okay.
It was such a quick turnaround that we needed just that, little extra 3 weeks.
Yeah, I totally understand that. No, that makes sense, I think, to do it later. Um, yeah, I was thinking Universe might have been better just because of been a shorter plane flight or quicker trip,
It
maybe.
would have definitely been a shorter, cheaper plane
Uh-huh.
flight.
I bet. And less time zones to cross and that kind of thing too.
Yes, that was rough on me. I didn't expect that to be as I'm such an early riser. I get up at 4 a.m. I am not an afternoon person. Like I'm good for nothing after 3 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
But I get up really early. But like me getting up early on Central Time Zone is, 2 hours later than like the what was that, Pacific in California. So
Yeah.
so my 4 a.m. would be their 2 a.m. And so I was getting up at 2 a.m. and ready to go. Like
That takes a while to adjust to that, I think. And that when you're in prep like that, I think it would be tough too, because you got that prep brain going on too.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It was not my finest little like I remember the day after the show, I got up, my usual 2 a.m. and I was like, well, I'm gonna go take a walk. Like I'm just walking around the streets of California, like 2 a.m.
2 a.m. My gosh. You gotta be careful too. Somebody might get you. So you got
There were quite a few homeless people asking me for cigarettes.
Oh, I see. Oh man. Um Now I was curious, we talked a little bit about it before um the we started recording, but do you know where and when you want to make your pro debut?
I think that I would really like to make my pro debut in Tupelo, just because Timmy and Judy Gillard have been such amazing people in my journey. They're the promoters of that show, and they genuinely care about competitors. They're both IFBB pros themselves, and they really just want to give back to people, and they've given back to me my entire competitive career. So I feel like that can be like a really cool way to give back to them.
That's awesome. That Tupelo show was really good. This is the first year they did women's physique, right?
Yes, and I've actually worked that show the last 3 years. It just became a pro show last year. But like you said, they added women's physique this year, and it was amazing for me to get to see pros as a pro. It just it added a whole new layer of coolness of it to me.
Oh, I bet. I bet that was awesome. Yeah. And you mentioned you talked with Alyssa Capolino, who
I
who's a pro.
did. I did. I talked to Alyssa, and it's funny because I always go into these things like with like my little like mental list of like, oh, I need a picture with this person, this person, and so I really wanted to meet Jeanette, because she won Tupelo, and she had looked so crazy in Texas. Was it the week before, or maybe 2 weeks before? But
The
I
week
mean, I
before, yeah.
yeah, and I had to meet her because that look was beautiful to me. And then I really wanted to meet Lenka because I followed Lenka forever on Instagram as well. So I met both of them, and then Rhea Gale was in figure, and so I had to meet Rhea Gale, and everybody was so nice.
That's terrific. Yeah, that's neat. Especially get to see some of these Europeans and I Lenka is really awesome. I met her a couple times and she's just super sweet and
Yes, and sometimes like I'll have like my little mental list, and I've met quite a few pros, and not all of them have been really nice, and so I'm always very, very like thankful and pleased when they're just as nice as you imagine them.
yeah, I know what you mean. I've encountered that too. Some of them aren't so nice and yeah, the ones that are nice, they kind of stand out in your mind
They
later
do
on too.
100%, and even if they weren't like like one of my top favorite pros prior to that, like if their personality is just an above and beyond kind of thing, like it instantly makes me love them even more.
Yeah, I understand that. That's cool. That's cool that you got to participate in that show and and help out. You said you had 9 miles walking.
Yes. For the Saturday show, it was the NPC show and the classic guys, the classic pros.
Uh-huh.
And I walked 9 miles trying to find people.
And that's a big arena too, I would think. I mean, it's a pretty
It's
big
it's a,
space.
it's a massive venue, and like I said, Timmy and Judy are always trying to do the most for competitors, so they give them a ton of space backstage, which is great for them. They can spread out and do whatever they need to do, but it is terrible for me.
Uh, I know. We still I got to get that air tag on the competitors, I think, for you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um, and no, that's awesome that you want to make your pro debut there. And Judy, I remember when she competed, and I always liked her look. I always thought she had a terrific look in the bodybuilding division.
And very feminine looking.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she still looks really good too.
She does. She does. She wore this little black dress the other day, and she's like, "Does this look bad?" I'm like, "I didn't realize you still looked like that." Like, she looks great.
Is she, her name sounds kind of Cajun too. Is she a Cajun
I
background?
don't I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but she's never mentioned it to me.
Definitely French though. It has kind of a French sound to it.
And it's also Tim. It's her married name, so it's Timmy's last name.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. That very cool. Now I was curious, have the judges have you sought out feedback and have they given you any feedback on where you need to improve your physique or your presentation?
I did. It's largely just that I need to bring up the conditioning in my back, just because I bring such strong conditioning from the front that the back doesn't match, and
Hmm.
so it kind of throws things off to the from the like a completeness standpoint.
Yeah, I understand that. But you have this year to work on that before Tupelo next year. You have almost exactly a year now, I bet. So
Yeah. I'm not positive which year I'll do Duplo, but I need some time off. I'm definitely taking at least a year.
okay. Yeah.
Maybe a little longer.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay. No, that's cool. Um and you had we talked about a little bit before how you've kind of gotten to know the judges as an expediter. So I think but I think that's an advantage though to know the judges and especially with your pro debut coming up later.
It's not quite the advantage that you think it is. They don't judge you any differently, but it's nice to see a familiar face out there.
Yeah, sure. I understand.
It's funny because at USA's the judges that I knew actually judged me the worst out of the whole panel.
Oh, really?
They did.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Wow. They didn't want to show favoritism, maybe?
I don't know. I wish they would have shown a little favoritism.
Ah, I understand. No, I know. Yeah. We talked a little bit about Bubby too before we started recording, but um he's a New Orleans based judge and he has that New Orleans accent going on, but it's kind of cool. It seems like he's been doing a lot more shows lately.
Yeah, Bubby's a big dog now. He did Chicago Pro. He's all over, and he's a fun guy. He'll tell you
Yeah.
that he hates me, but he does not hate me.
Oh, good. Yeah, very good. Maybe he'll do Tupelo next year. We'll have to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And it'd be really. I don't know if I'd want Bubby on that panel because I feel like I'd look out there and he'd make a face at me, and I wouldn't be able to keep cool.
Oh, I see. Oh man. Um, I was curious if there's any advice that you could provide to ladies who are seeking to earn their pro card, and I know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but any advice that you could provide in terms of your own journey?
I mean, for me, the big advice that I feel like I've had to give ladies lately, it just from my own journey, having come up at an NPC Nationals in December, I was one spot away, and that was my first national show, and so I had to use that, and I feel like people don't know how to lose anymore. Like that loss was the best thing to ever happen to me,
Hmm.
because when I came off that stage, I knew how badly I wanted it, and I was so fueled by that loss that, I mean, like I said, like it is, that loss was better than any win I've ever taken, just because nothing has propelled me forward quite like that loss did. And so my biggest advice is learn to lose.
Yeah, that's actually really good advice. I like that. And don't get too discouraged by it. Just use it to
Yeah,
fire.
because you can use it. Like, I mean, it's not, you can choose to fall down and die with it, or you let it fuel you and come back better.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. That is really good advice, actually. I think that's and I've hadn't had anybody say that before, but it makes sense actually. I like that.
It's just, it's one of those, like, having lived it kind of things. Like, I didn't realize just how much that loss changed me as a person. Like, it mentally leveled me up into somebody that deserved to be a pro.
Yeah, I like that. That's good point. I was thinking Sherry Priami talked recently about her experience in Portugal and it just getting second there just kind of lit a fire under her
Yes,
and
it's
got her.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and I just don't understand how, like, people can. I've seen people take the loss and then quit,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I couldn't imagine having taken that loss and just been like, "Hey, I'm done."
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. And that I think that's good for people listening here to hear that too. I think that's good advice. So now I was curious, do you have a prep coach?
I do. My prep coach is Tyler Bedson. He is out of Lexington, Kentucky. He's been my coach for about, well, we're going on probably 3.5 years now. He's incredible. I could not ask for a better coach. We just communicate really well. He's learned my body, and I feel like we've made 100 mistakes, but we've learned from all of them. So,
How do you spell his last name?
Bedson, Bedson.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure to include his Instagram down below in case people want to contact him.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. He is phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about him.
how long have you worked with him? You said 3.5 years?
3.5 years.
Oh wow. So he helped you get your pro card and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
help
I
you on
would
your
not I would not be anywhere near a pro if I hadn't been with Tyler.
really? That's great.
He
Sounds like
he
a
changed
good
the
coach.
game for me 100%.
Is he taking new clients, do you know?
I I believe so. Sometimes he has a waiting list.
Okay,
But I'm not positive if how long his waiting list is, or if he even has one right now.
sure. Okay, cool. And what about posing coach? Do you work with anybody on posing?
I work with Brooke Walker.
Oh, do you
And
really?
I
Oh, wow.
do, and that's another person that, like, I could talk about for hours and hours and hours, because Brooke is incredible. Not only is she the best posing coach I've ever had, but she's just a phenomenal person. Like,
Yeah.
I could not have made it through this prep without Brooke.
Wow.
It's one of those things where, like, I will never understand why she kind of took me in, and became more than a prep coach or more than a posing coach. Just took me in as a friend, but just because, I mean, this is a top Olympian. I have nothing to offer her, but she did, and she's just amazing.
That's terrific. She really is a sweetie. I've met her at least once now and she's just really friendly. She loves the
She
fans.
is. She
Yeah.
is, and she gives back to the sport. She cares. Like, she wants people to do well, and she wants to do as much as she can to help other people succeed in the sport.
I was telling a friend it's almost weird that she's not going to be at the Olympia this year because I'm so used to her being there.
It's crazy, and, like, I I I want her to do all the things that are best for her, but I'm always like, well, maybe next year you should go win 15 grand in Texas. Like,
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true. Do you know, is she going to compete again next year, do you think? I wonder if
I
she.
believe so. I believe she'll compete again next year in Texas. I mean, not in Texas. Sorry, in just next year. I told her to go to Texas, but I know she'll listen to me.
Oh yeah, no, she is amazing, and yeah, for her physique and just her personality is amazing. So
It is. It is.
yeah,
She's the best.
that's great that you get to work with her too. I bet, yeah, I bet she just seems like a really sweet person. So
She
um,
is.
and
Great
very motiv.
person and great posing coach.
Oh yeah, and very motivational. I think you know to a lot of people. So yeah,
And patient. I require somebody who is extremely patient, and she's very patient.
that's great. That's very cool. I was curious, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of prep for you?
Well, like you mentioned, or I don't. You may not have mentioned it. It may have been when we were talking before, but I'm an insurance adjuster, so I travel a lot.
Really?
And so traveling on prep is it's just an added stressor.
You have to travel out of town?
Yes, I do a lot of like large loss claims, and so it's a lot of flying, and flying with food is just hard.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet that is tough. How often do you have to travel like that?
I travel. Plane travel isn't as frequent, but I mean I travel weekly.
Really?
I
Wow.
do.
I bet that would be tough with, especially with bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is so rigid and, you know, kind of
And
written.
and you have to, find gyms in other towns, which a lot of times is really fun and really cool, but when you're deep in prep, like you just want to be home.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I was thinking you might end up in a small town with no decent gym too. You're like,
I
oh.
have many a time. And that's
No.
that's when I drive for hours just to go to a gym.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Yeah, that's not good. Find a few cinder blocks to throw around or something.
Right?
I was curious if you could give advice to ladies listening in who are looking for a good coach.
Um, that's a tough one, just because. mm, just do your research. Like I've been in a situation before where I wasn't with the best coach for me, um, but that doesn't mean they're a bad coach.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think I think that you have to find the right coach for you, and you have to find what you have to know your lines and what you need, because I'm I'm not particularly like needy. I don't want somebody checking up on me all the time, or micromanaging me, because then
Mhm.
I feel like I'm not doing my job.
Yeah. I
If they
understand.
need to be on me all the time, kind of thing. I don't like that kind of communication. But I do like somebody with like an open line of communication for when I do have questions.
Sure.
So I think it's largely just know what you need for yourself, and find somebody who can provide that, and be realistic about what a coach can provide.
Okay. Yeah. That's good advice. I like that. Um, did you mention working with Tyler, but did it take a while to find the right coach for you, or were you lucky to find him relatively soon into your career?
Tyler is my second coach.
Oh yeah.
But just funny story is that the way that I found Tyler is I was beat by one of his clients at a show in 2020, in my first year. I
Okay.
was beaten by one of his clients, and I thought she looked incredible. And so I watched his Instagram, and I was like, let me see if this girl is just like a one off, like let me watch and make sure that he's producing quality. And just girl after girl after girl looked crazy.
Really?
Um, so I
Wow.
reached out to him, and I was like, hey, like I'd really like to work with you. And he said, I have a wait list. And I was like, oh, but I really wanted to do like a show, and like I was in prep, and I had just come off like a really poor showing.
Wow.
And I was like, I wanted to do another show. And so he took me, and the rest is history.
That's terrific. I bet he was really proud of you for getting the pro card too.
Oh yeah. I talk about it all the time, but like as much as I wanted that pro card, I feel like Tyler wanted it for me equally, if not more.
That's great. Yeah. I bet Brooke was really proud of you too.
She
Yeah.
was. She was. And like I said, like Brooke carried me through that last prep. So she understands just how difficult it was and how much I wanted it and she was actually at Tupelo last weekend and I got to give her the biggest hug and be like, we did it.
Nice. It'll be cool when you get to go up on stage with her and compete with her. I bet that'd be
I
neat.
told her I was like you can't be done kind of thing because I need to be on a stage with you at some point.
No, that's true. That'd be awesome to be up on stage with her.
It that would be my dream. You know, like I never have to win another show again. If I could stand next to Brooke Walker on a stage, like my life would be made.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Um, be a good photo too. Get up on stage
Oh,
with her.
absolutely, absolutely. You know, do it
Um,
for the gram.
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now I know you live in Birmingham, Alabama, and I don't know too many bodybuilders from there, but is there a bodybuilding community that you know there at the gym and everything?
Yeah, we have actually a pretty decent little bodybuilding community in Alabama.
Really?
It's small just because you know Alabama's small, but we're very close. Or I feel like if you want support in this state, like there is support, and uh, uh, like the NPC Alabama, like that's my family. Like I didn't have like a real strong, you know, like extended family kind of thing, and they kind of gave me a home.
Really? That's great. Yeah, that's really cool. And do you do expediter at some of their shows, I imagine?
I work all of the Alabama shows.
Oh, do you?
I
That's great.
do.
Very cool. Um, no, that's awesome. I bet that would be kind of fun to do too, being in home state and people you know competing and everything.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and honestly, like even like the people you don't know, you know, you wind up knowing them after a little while.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's very cool. Now I know for work you work as an insurance adjuster, and I was curious how long have you worked in that industry?
I have been an adjuster for about 7 years now.
How did you get involved in that?
I had a buddy who was an adjuster, and he said he made a lot of money, which I do not. But there used to be a lot of money in adjusting when you know there were big hurricanes and that kind of thing. And there's definitely opportunities, but it's such a saturated market now that like the money isn't what it used to be.
Really?
But I do
Yeah.
really enjoy it.
Oh, cool. So you're like rooting for hurricanes, aren't you? No.
You hate to be like the angel of death, but hurricanes bring the funds for me to bodybuild.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. We have plenty of hurricanes in Florida, but fortunately they missed the populated areas recently, so we've been
Yeah,
fortunate. Yeah.
I've worked a few hurricanes in Florida.
Oh yeah, they'll keep you busy down here for sure.
Oh yeah.
Now you mentioned on George's podcast that you get up on roofs and crawl spaces for your job, and has that helped keep you in good shape?
I Yes and no. I feel like, you know, like I feel like I stay in pretty good shape, but I have so many coworkers that aren't that I don't feel like it's like a necessity to be in shape to be an adjuster.
Really?
Uh,
Yeah.
but I mean, it does not help. I mean, it doesn't hurt to be in shape when you're climbing a roof or under a house or that kind of thing.
Yeah. Plus you could fit underneath the crawl space.
Right, exactly. I do know a few people who can't fit in certain crawl spaces.
Yeah, some of them are got too big a belly and stuff, I imagine. So yeah.
Exactly.
Um, and I was curious what's been like your most memorable or crazy experience in that job?
So my most memorable experience was I spent 2 months in Australia.
Oh,
A couple of years ago, they had these like just wild, like torrential floods in Lismore, Australia.
Okay.
And I spent 2 months over there working flood claims, and it was I was, I lived in New Orleans during Katrina, and so I'm familiar with flooding and that kind of thing. But like this was flooding I've never seen before. There were 3-story homes with water to the ceiling.
Really?
It was wild. It was
Oh,
like it was nothing I've ever seen before, and it was very sad.
yeah.
But it was definitely, something for the record books to witness.
That must have been interesting to get to go to Australia too. And
It was, you hate the circumstances, but I wouldn't have ever had that opportunity otherwise. And so it was a lot of fun for, the not work part of it.
that'd be the ultimate jet lag too. That'd be
That was another one of those, me walking around in a strange city at whatever time of day.
yeah, that would be tough to get adjusted to that, I bet.
It
Yeah.
was it was it was difficult. And it was even more difficult to come home from it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, you have to adjust back again. Yeah. I bet that was an amazing experience though. That must have been neat.
It was really cool. Just because, like I said, I would have never had the opportunity otherwise, and to get paid to do it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, that did paid to get paid to travel like that, especially that far, is kind of
Oh
nice.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Now in terms of working as an expediter, how long have you done that?
I started expediting, I believe, in 2021. I wanted to like take a year to grow, and I still wanted to be like a part of everything. And so I actually, my friend Will is the promoter of Greater Tennessee Valley in Huntsville, Alabama. And I asked him if, I could do anything for his show, and he said no. And then he called me and was like, "Hey, can you sell T-shirts at my show?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can sell T-shirts at your show." And so from there, just it blossomed kind of organically into expediting it at other shows, and just I've been really fortunate to have the opportunity.
That's awesome. I bet I was curious if you ever had any crazy backstage stories that you could share.
I've got quite a few crazy backstage stories, but I think the one that tops it for me last week in Tupelo. This guy was posing butt naked in the parking lot.
Oh, what?
And so that was like, just no shame.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I bet Tupo police might get him though.
It was, I'd never seen anything like that.
That's crazy. Wow. Um, yeah, I know that the tanning folks see a lot of nudity, I think, because they have to pretty
Oh
much
yeah,
be
because they
naked.
have to tan them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure it's a situation where the guy's coach said like text me after you tan kind of thing, but I'm sure he wanted him to wear pants.
Oh man, that's kind of crazy. I was wondering, do you have a favorite promoter that you've worked with?
So this is a question that's going to get me in trouble.
Oh, well, you don't have to say. No, I'm just putting on
So
the
of
spot.
course I have a favorite promoter, but I I'm gonna mention quite a few just because, like I said, Will Wise was the first person to give me an opportunity. Um, Kelly and Morris Pruitt, the Morris is the chairman of our state, and they've done so incredibly much for me as both a person and a competitor, and as an expediter, and just provided so many different opportunities, and just made this a family for me.
That
Um, and then I don't want to forget anybody, but the last person I want to mention is Freddie Nadu, because I one time Freddie let me work Battle of Texas for him, and it was when I had first started expediting, and it was just he's such a titan in the industry, and it was just somebody that truly wanted to give back. Like it was him 100% doing a favor for me and letting me have that experience. But it was the coolest thing that I've ever, like, at the time it felt like I'd ever done, you know?
That's awesome. Is he Freddie that does the Texas Pro?
He does.
Oh yeah. Oh, very cool. That's awesome. Wow. That's great that you got to work with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and it's just like I said, like, if Freddie is one of those people that, like, if it's within his means to provide you an opportunity, he'll do so.
Really? That's great.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
That's terrific. That's really cool. I like how you did that though. You had to mention a few different promoters. Ah, no, that's good. That's
And then
wonderful.
I'm also, it's probably gonna, become a sore subject because of the ones I didn't make.
Oh no, I don't think so. No. Oh man. And we mentioned Judy earlier. Judy and Timmy, you said?
Yes, Judy and Timmy are phenomenal people.
Yeah, very cool. I was curious, just one more question about like home life and work life, but do your parents support your bodybuilding career?
My parents do support my bodybuilding career, but they support it in the best way that they can. They don't follow bodybuilding, they don't come to the shows, and it's but that doesn't bother me because I don't really need that. but
Yeah.
it's not their thing, but they let it be my thing. And my mom has cooked hundreds of pounds of chicken for me.
Really?
So
Nice.
she is here for me, like, I said something to her like, hey, what if I want to be an Olympian? And she's like, I think you should go for it, and she doesn't understand what that is or what that takes, or just how lofty of a goal that really sounds at this point. But she's here for it.
That's terrific. Does she ever try to make you eat like yummy New Orleans food?
Oh, my mom is the best cook in the entire world. She is 100% a food pusher, and for the longest time, I wouldn't let her cook chicken because she wanted to put butter and oil in it.
Oh no. Yeah, that kind of defeats the purpose, right?
It,
No.
it she it took her a long time to be able to help me prepare chicken in the way that would be beneficial to me.
I understand that. Yeah. That's good that she supports you though, and
She does.
helping
Both
you
my
with
mom
all,
and dad do.
that's great. Helping you with all that chicken too.
Yes, I eat a lot of chicken.
Oh yeah, no, as a bodybuilder, especially. I just have a few more questions for you. Now, are you doing good on time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you mentioned on George's podcast that you come from a Cajun family background, and I was curious if you and your family are active in that Cajun culture at all.
I mean, aside from the food, not necessarily. I mean, when I was younger, my dad actually speaks Cajun French and grew up, like, going to, like, in a French speaking family and going to French speaking school kind of thing.
Really?
When I was little, I feel like my biggest, like, memory around Christmas time was, like, we had this Cajun Night Before Christmas book that he would read me, and it had, like, the Santa, like, with the alligators instead of reindeer. And so that's probably about as Cajun as we get. But food and that Christmas and that Night Before Christmas.
That's awesome. I bet the food is really good too.
It's like I said, my mom is the best cook in the world, and gumbo, crawfish etouffee, like, and you name it, she can make it.
And if you take a year off, can you eat some of that yummy stuff?
I could, but it's not on my meal plan, so I probably won't.
Ah, huh. The smells though, the smells will get
The
you.
smells are free.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And yeah, lower calorie, the smells, I
Yes.
think. Um, Now, this is kind of a hypothetical question, but if you were like in a leadership position with the IFBB, what would you do to improve the sport of bodybuilding, and how would you try to make the sport better?
That's such a difficult one because, number one, I'm not in a leader position, then they didn't ask me. Like, how much do you really say? But I feel like maybe I mean, if I were to just throw out like a lofty goal without, you know, any being able to provide any support behind it of how to make it happen, um, I would love it if there were more monetary opportunities in bodybuilding. You know, just to make it as so you could have it as a career. Just because, you know, like it's a second job for me,
Yeah,
and it's a second job that I pay a lot of money to do.
yeah, I
So
understand.
it would be really cool if there were the opportunity to, even if not for me, but for some of these really high level girls,
Mhm.
um, to do really well in it, and to not have to, work in a gym or whatever they do, kind of thing.
I know the prize money, even for the winners and the pro shows, a lot of times it's just $2,000, and that.
And that's the thing. Like, I was talking to one of the girls last week. Just she was like, "This doesn't even cover my flight to get here," kind of
Mhm,
thing, and it just, my heart broke because it's true.
mhm. Yeah, that's tough. I know, and just being a pro sport where you're really not making any money, it's almost more, yeah, there's more money going out, and it's which makes it even like, um, I would say it's a hobby, but it's even like more
It,
difficult hobby because there's
it
so much money going out,
right, exactly. It is. I can't think of a more expensive hobby. And well, there are, definitely ways to save money in it. Like, once I feel like once you get to the pro level, like, you can't necessarily pull out all those money saving things anymore. Just
Yeah,
because nobody else around you is.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, but you got to do what you got to do, and yeah, no, I understand that though. Um, but no, I appreciate that, and I wish there was more money in the sport, and more money for the ladies, especially because there's such a disparity with the prize money between the men and the women too.
Right, and I feel like that's any sport,
Mm,
and
that's true.
I don't necessarily think that it needs to be equal.
Hmm.
Just because, you think about, like, what a prep for an open bodybuilder takes versus, a prep for a bikini girl, and it's very different.
Yeah,
But but maybe not as much disparity.
yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah. I was curious, do you ever find yourself be the target of fit shaming? Because I was surprised that you guys even have to deal with that. And I was wondering, especially like in Alabama, where maybe it's not as accepted too.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like there's a lot of comments, and just, especially as like a more muscular female,
Hmm.
um, a lot of, kind of dirty looks at the grocery store if I don't wear a t-shirt after, or if I go to the grocery after the gym and don't wear like a big t-shirt or something. I think people are largely supportive, but I've gotten a massage before, and the lady's been like, "Oh, too much muscle,"
Really?
and so
Oh,
there's definitely been some comments that weren't appreciated on my end, but
yeah, I
you know
understand.
it, it comes with the territory.
How about like on social media too? Do you have to deal with like the trolls much on there?
I really don't get a whole lot of unsupportive social media comments, but I think it's just because I'm not like a huge social media person, and I don't know. Mostly it's just my friends commenting on my stuff.
Oh, that's cool though. Yeah, it's good too not to have to deal with trolls too, because I think that can bring some of the ladies down. Just make them
Yeah, I
feel.
mean, I'm very sensitive, so it would definitely hurt my feelings.
Yeah, no, I understand that. No, and no, yeah, and y'all deserve praise for all the hard work, I think. So
Yeah,
um and I was curious if you've ever dealt with like any just crazy or overzealous fans.
yeah, like I just said, like, I don't have any fans. I'm nobody.
Oh, really? Oh,
So,
man. But you're gonna be building up some
I,
fans now that got
I'm
your
I'm gonna
program.
be somebody one day. So mark those words down. But no, I don't have fans.
Oh, man. But now you got the FB forum bump, so
That's right. I'm about to get so many fans. I'll let you know if they're overzealous here when they start rolling in after this.
And I want to tell the fans out there, y'all gotta behave and be respectful too. So don't be doing bad
That's
stuff.
right.
But I'm not going to say what kind of bad stuff they do, but I'm not going to talk about that. It was interesting. We were talking about Susan Graham earlier, and she said she got kind of a creepy fan who she called armpit licker because the guy had like an armpit licking fetish, and
Oh
so
my goodness, that's disgusting.
she kind of tolerated him, and told him to
Oh
kind of
my,
behave.
see that
But
I would. That's one of those like I'd be like, the non-confrontational, but leave it on red kind of thing. Like just ignore it. Hope it goes away.
you got block and delete too. You can always do that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now, after your first pro show, you might have to deal with some of those creepy guys, so you gotta watch out.
Let's hope that I do so well in my first pro show that I have fans and I have creepy, maybe not creepy guys, but fans for sure.
Yeah, fans, definitely. Yeah, no, you deserve fans for sure. You're awesome. So,
Yeah.
um, you're welcome. Now, I was wondering if there's anything I missed that you'd like to address.
Hmm, I don't think so. I feel like we covered a lot of territory.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you. How about any sponsors or friends that you'd like to shout out?
I don't have any sponsors, but if anybody wants to sponsor me, come on.
Oh,
I definitely want to thank my mom and dad, my best friend Mel Heller. I want to thank Will and Misty Wise, Morrison Kelly Pruitt, and just the entire Alabama NPC, and Mississippi NPC. We do a lot with Mississippi, and I have so much support, and I could not be more thankful. I obviously want to thank my coach Tyler and his wife Laura and Brooke Walker, my posing coach. I would not be here without them.
that's terrific. Yeah, I think it really does take a village, I think, to be a successful bodybuilder and to
It
get your
it
pro
does.
card. Yeah. I was curious. I was just thinking about Lacey Pruitt. Do you know her
I
offhand?
do. Lacey is incredible. Oh my goodness, I love her so much. Let's talk about Lacey just because there is no other female coach in my mind that can bring the caliber of athlete in both like male categories and female categories as Lacey. Lacey
Really?
is Lacey is the female coach in my mind.
Really?
She
Wow.
is. Lacey's gonna be somebody if she's not already.
Does she have a Cajun background too?
Lacey lives in Baton Rouge, so I'm not positive of her. Her family background, but I mean she's in Louisiana, so
I like when
there's
she
something
competed. I think she has a great look. She's and her abs
beautiful.
crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I hope that she hasn't competed recently, has she? Or
I don't think Lacey ever made a pro debut.
oh, she never made her pro debut. Wow. Yeah, I remember when she got her pro card and she looks amazing. I just love her
She,
look.
she did. I love Lacey. I love her look then. I love her look now. Like she's a beautiful person inside and out.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to get her on the podcast here sometime soon. So
Absolutely. I would love to listen to whatever Lacey has to say.
that's awesome. No, I'll definitely reach out to her soon. Um, well, I think we're just about wrapping up. If you don't mind, would you mind doing a quick double bicep flex for me?
Of course. Oh, can I? I'm not in that. Am I in that camera?
Oh, do the one.
The one. Oh, well,
Yeah,
where's my arm? I can't. Uh,
I like it. No, it works. No, that's good. Yeah, I know it's kind of the phone, the way it's oriented, it's kind of limited.
give me
Because
one of those most musculars.
oh yeah, no, I love that too. Oh man. Well, thank you so much, Katie. It was really nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me on. Like I said, I've followed you for a long time now, so this is a really cool thing for me.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for your support. And I'll try to get this posted relatively soon too. So I'll make sure to tag you, probably get it
Awesome.
on this evening later. So definitely.
Great. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you. Nice speaking or nice chatting with you.
Nice chatting with you.
Thank you.